Hello everyone. In this video, we are going to talk about the basics of Python, which includes the features of Python. Python is a simple general purpose, high level and object oriented programming language, and it is an interpreted scripting language as well. The founder of Python programming is Guido van Rossum, and it was released in the year 1991. So now we will see some of the features of Python. Python provides very useful and important features, which makes it very popular and very unique when compared to other programming languages. It supports object-oriented programming language, procedural programming approaches, and it also provides dynamic memory allocation. The first important feature of Python is it is very easy to read, learn, and write because it is a high-level programming language and it has an English-like syntax. And it is also easier to learn, and there are a lot of people who recommend Python to beginners. And the it has got less lines of code when you compare with other programming languages like C, C++, and Java. The next feature of Python is improved productivity. It is a very productive language, and its simplicity is where the developers actually focus on solving important problems. So you need not spend much time in understanding the syntax and the behavior of the programming language. It requires less code, and with the less code, it does great things. The next third feature of Python is it is an interpretive language, which means that Python directly executes the code line by line. In case of any error, it stops further execution and reports back the error to the user where the error has actually occurred. So Python shows only one error, even if the program has multiple errors. This makes debugging easier. And the next fourth feature of Python is it is dynamically typed, and it doesn't know the type of the variable until we run that particular code. It automatically assigns the data type during the execution. The programmer doesn't need to worry about declaring variables and their data types. The fifth feature of Python is it is a free and open source language. It comes under the OSI approved open source licenses, and this makes it free to use and to distribute. So you can download the source code, modify it, and even distribute your own version of Python. And this is useful for organizations that want to modify some specific behavior and use their version for their own development. The sixth feature of Python is its portability. That is, it can equally run on a variety of platforms. Like say, it can run on Windows, Linux, Unix, Macintosh, any other smartphones. So this makes Python a true cross-platform language. Or in other words, we can say that Python is a portable language. So here in this particular slide, we show some of the advantages and disadvantages of Python. You can have a look on it. So it has an improved productivity. It is highly an interpreted language. It is dynamically typed. It is free and open source. And it has vast libraries to support over a variety of different applications. And the disadvantages of Python is its slow speed. It is not that much memory efficient. It is weak in mobile computing. It has got the runtime errors, and it's pretty difficult when you come to database access, right? So these are the advantages and disadvantages of Python. So when you want to work with Python, then we want some of the installation that which we have to come across. So the default installation can be done from the official website of Python, which is python.org, and is called a CPython installation, and it comes with Python interpreter, Python IDLE, and the pip package, that is the package installer. Other distributions are there as well, like say an Anaconda Python distribution that comes with preloaded with many packages and libraries, like say NumPy, like SkyPy, Panda libraries. These are all the libraries or some packages. Even when you actually download Anaconda Python distribution, these packages comes as free. And there are again other popular IDEs like say Spider IDE, PyCharm IDE, and etc. So Spider IDE is already available as a part of Anaconda Python distribution if you actually try to download the Anaconda Python distribution. Other major packages, as I told you, we have the NumPy, which is a numeric Python, which is useful for us to create matrices and work on linear algebra kind of problems. And also we have SciPy, which is scientific Python, which is actually mainly used for some of the numerical routines. We also have Pandas library, which is used for data analysis and modeling library. And we also have PyTest, which is Python testing, which is a code testing framework. So these are all some of the major packages, libraries, and frameworks. So now we will see that how we can actually install Python on Windows. So installation, the first and foremost step is that you can install the Python from the official Python website. And Anaconda is a convenient distribution of Python. So you can choose the first option if you're a programmer using Python for various purposes, like say creating websites, network programming if you want to do, or to develop some of the software applications. So if you're going to focus on the data science type of applications and applications which include machine learning models, then you can actually prefer Anaconda Python distribution, and you can download that as well. So, so we will see if Python is already. So before you actually try to install Python, we have to check if Python is already installed in your system. So before starting the installation, we can check it by giving in the command line prompt, you can type Python -v, which tells you if there is a version of the Python which is actually included in your system. If not, then we can actually start our execution. So you can actually go to the official website, which is python.org. And when you go there, you will be able to you will be able to see this type of screen there. And there you could, the first step is you could open the Python releases for Windows page and select Python version and download Python executable installer. So when you click on to that, then the second step, it moves on to the second step, where you can see the Python installer. So you can run the Python installer for how to install Python on Windows downloads folder. Make sure that you add the Python version to the path, otherwise you will have to do it explicitly. Okay, so that's what you will have to click on to install launcher for all users at the bottom of the screen. And then the next checkbox also you will have to mark it, that says that you add Python 3.10 to the path. So that it includes, while installation itself, it includes the path in which the Python has to be included, or otherwise we have to do it separately. So the third step is that you can go to the Windows and then type IDLE. Okay, so so here if you see this particular IDLE will be open, and here you can actually type. You wanted to, this particular interpreter is actually called as a Python interpreter, or also called as a Python shell. And if you try to print in the double quotes or in a single quote, if you try to print something, it actually gets printed. Okay. So that's about the Python installation, which is very simple. And next, if you're going to use some of the machine learning applications, then we have to install Anaconda on Windows. So how to download and install Anaconda? So you have to go to the website, Anaconda website, and choose a Python 3.x graphical installer, or a Python 2.x graphical installer. So so these are all the versions that are available. So you can actually download them. So if I'm going to download 3.6 version, okay, and then you have to after you download, you are able to see that your executable file is downloaded, and you can locate on your downloads, and then because it is downloaded, you can locate on your downloads and then double click onto that an Anaconda 3.10 executable file. So when you click onto that, it moves to the next stage, which is the installation step. Okay, so here you can click on to the next button, and it moves on to the next stage where you can actually check all the license agreement. You agree to the license agreement, and then it will ask for you regarding the installation type. So that also you can actually check, as I have done here in this particular slide. And then the installation is complete. So you can press on to the next button again, and then the installation is completed. It is finished, as you can see in the slide. So then you will be able to see that there is this Anaconda Navigator, which is actually installed. So here you can see Spider is installed, Jupyter Lab, Jupyter Notebook. So these are all the other important packages or IDEs which are available by default in Anaconda. So this is how the Anaconda Python distribution is can be installed in your system. Okay, so here again, we can see the difference between the interactive and script mode in Python. So the interactive mode is nothing but instructions are given directly in the Python prompt, in the Python shell itself, and it carries out the given instructions, and then you can view the results there itself. But in the script mode, the Python instructions are generally stored in a file, generally with a .py extension, or executed together in one go as one unit. They are saved instructions, and they are actually called as a Python script or the Python program. Okay, so we've come to the end of the lecture. So in this lecture, we have seen the important features of Python, and then we have also seen like how to install the Python shell, as well as how to install the Anaconda Python distribution. Thank you for listening to the lectures. You can also find more of my lectures shortly. Thank you.